Hello, nieces and niestas. How are you? Welcome back to the channel. I want to thank you guys for coming back to the channel. I'm SavingsFashionista, and over here we do mainly things fragrances, whether it's body or home. And today we are here to talk about fragrance. So I'm here to give a full dedicated review. We are going to discuss, and I will be giving my thoughts, my subjective input on YSL's latest fragrance release, which is the Black Opium Le Parfum. All right, but before we get into that, I want to highlight my nieces and niestas over at Madam Glam New York. Madam Glam New York has been featured several times over here in Nieces Nation. And you guys, you know I love a pretty nail. So Madam Glam sent me over 4 of their new 2023 Soak Off Gel or Shellac Nail colors. And they sent me the colors Majestique, a beautiful lavender grayish color. They sent me the color Astrological Goddess, a very subtle plum-like color, very pretty. And they sent me the color Chit Chat, which looks very similar, but if you look at it really close, you can tell that this has a brighter hue than this one. So Chit Chat is more of a purpley shade. And they sent me Green Energy. So again, I want to thank them for sending those items over. I did use them. I wanted to do a Mardi Gras inspired nail. So I have all 4 colors on with the exception of this because I had to include the yellow and the gold. So I want to give a shout out to Madam Glam. If you're interested in shopping at Madam Glam, please click the bit.ly link below to save. And also make sure when you get to checkout, you want to do pay as you go. Do not do the membership. But if you're interested in the membership, you can read into it and select the membership offer if that's something that you will be interested in. So again, thank you, Madam Glam New York. All right, so it's my favorite fragrance time. So let's talk about this fragrance, you guys. This fragrance was released the end of 22, top of 23. Now, you know, in the fragrance world, depending on where the actual company is or how they want to promote it, sometimes things will be released in other countries before we get it here in the States. So I'm just going to say that this was available here in the States 2023. That is when I received this. This is a PR package. This is something that was gifted to me. So I want to thank Influencer as well as Sephora. I really appreciate them. So this is the Black Opium Yves Saint Laurent, which is which is YSL for short. And this is the Le Parfum 30 ml 1 full ounce fragrance. Now, this fragrance has notes of white floral bouquets, vanilla quartets, and coffee accords. So let's break down this vanilla quartets because we know that quartets mean 4. But that's all YSL gave us. And I went into Fragrantica and I saw where they did a breakdown. Now, you know, some people is like, you know, with Fragrantica. But in my opinion, I think that they have a purpose because I do believe that they break these fragrances down to the molecule and get these notes. And like I've said in other videos, I do think that fragrance companies, they do try to be as discreet or vague as they can because we have so many inspired companies up and rising that replicate the fragrance. So I get it. But according to Fragrantica, the fragrance notes are mandarin, pear, cinnamon, white florals, jasmine sambac, one of my favorites, orange blossom, coffee, patchouli, and the quartet of vanillas are Madagascar vanilla, vanilla absolute, vanilla bourbon, and vanilla orchid. So those are the fragrance notes, you guys. So let's talk about the packaging. I think the packaging is very simplistic. I don't know if it's different. According to the pictures, it doesn't look too different. I don't know if it's different because this was a PR package, and sometimes they do have standard PR designs, but the juice is the same. So I was really excited when I received the email and they told me to be looking out because I was receiving this. And if you go back to one of my fragrance videos, I'll leave it linked above, where we talked about some of the new releases for 2023, and I also gave my initial thoughts on the cherry smoke and the electric cherry. Please click that. I did mention this particular fragrance because this is one of the new fragrances that I was really interested in purchasing. Had I not received it, I would have purchased it because I am into this coffee thing. So when they say it coffee, and if you have not checked out my coffee, must-have coffee fragrances, please click that card. So I knew that I wanted it and I was gonna purchase it, but when they told me they would send it over for PR for my honest input, I was really excited about that. So I cannot say that this, I can say that I do think that this is a fragrance for fall, winter seasons because of the coffee note. Normally, you know, our deep, bold coffee fragrances, we like to wear those in the cooler months. The brand class is designer, YSL. The versatility, I think that it does have versatility. I do think, based off what I smell when I spray it, this can very well be a work fragrance. It could be a date fragrance. And it could be really what you want it to be. I really hate to put seasons on things and put versatility on things because people wear what they want to wear when they want to wear it. So I'm just giving you my thoughts and input. So I do think that this could be work or date, or, you know, depending on the person, it could be a signature scent. The longevity, you guys, 3 to 4 hours. The longevity is very minimal, and that's why I have really been holding back on giving a review, because I wanted to really experience this, because I was not really impressed with the longevity. I was really expecting this fragrance to perform much stronger than I have experienced it performing over the past couple weeks. The projection, less than 30 minutes. The projection is very, very minimal. And when I say projection, that means that I'm idly sitting and I can smell my fragrance without having to make nose to skin or nose to clothes contact. That's what I mean by projection. But just randomly sniffing my arm or catching a whiff here or there, maybe 3 to 4 hours. That's all I am getting. The fragrance class, it is a vanilla amber fragrance. One thing that I want to say with new fragrances, and I'm going to do another fragrance review in a couple days, and it makes sense to me now. When a fragrance is new, fragrances have to go through this thing called maceration. And maceration probably hasn't taken place in this. But in my history of researching and trying to understand maceration is just an oxidation process with fragrances where the alcohol molecules have to settle and more of the oils permeate through the fragrance. Now, this oxidation process, it is said to happen within production. How true that is, I don't know, because I'm not a perfumer. I'm not in a perfumer's lab, so I don't really know what the process is. But what I do know is there is a certain thing of maceration, point blank period, because I have initially experienced something very new to the market that just did not perform. And then months later, after it gets some shelf time, it's totally different. It's a different fragrance. The fragrance itself, what you smell, is the same, but as far as the performance, it's completely different. So I gave you all of that information to say this. First of all, you cannot find this on Sephora. It is sold out, but you can find it on the YSL site. what I would do is I would just wait, give it some time. And even if you want to purchase it now, I'm just saying it's not performing the way that I anticipated it, or the way that all of my coffee fragrances perform. It's just not giving me that, you guys. And that's my honest opinion. Do I like what I smell? Yes, I do. Do I think that they could have added a little more of this or that? Yes, I do. This fragrance is not as coffee as I would like it to be, but that's just me. The coffee note could have been more enhanced. The vanilla notes in here are very beautiful. It puts me more in a floral vanilla frame of mind, more so than coffee. You do get the undertone of coffee, but I get it because they say coffee accords. So that's what they designed it to be. It's not supposed to be a per se coffee fragrance. I think it's just more of a white floral vanilla fragrance with remnants of coffee. Far as what they produced and what I have predicted that their objective was, did they meet it? But the performance, I think the performance could be better. Now, I could come back a couple months later and I'm getting a total different vibe off of it. If I notice that and I see that, yes, I will come back with an updated review and give you some input on what I think the performance level of this fragrance is. So if you are curious about this fragrance, if you have satisfied your curiosity, let me know what you think about this fragrance, whether you have sampled it or purchased it. Let me know what you think about the fragrance. And leave any comments below if you have any ideas for more coffee fragrance, because I do want to increase my my coffee fragrances within my collection. I probably have about 5 or 6 now, but I do want more because I really enjoy coffee fragrances. So thank you again for coming back to the channel, and do not forget, you are great. Bye-bye.